Sup everyone, today we're going to be talking about Klee, so get yourselves ready because this is going to be pretty crazy for some of you guys if you're thinking about this for the first time. So if you guys are thinking of picking up Klee, which I'd assume a lot of people are, she is by far one of the more popular units in Genshin, considering all the 4 stars of course as well. Well, the thing about Klee is that she currently holds a weird record, and I don't think it's really a record that anybody, let's just put it nicely, anyone would want to have. This character currently holds the record for the least used limited 5-star in all of Genshin Impact. And if you guys think, well, Walrus, Klee is a rare character, not many people have Klee. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that because this character has defied all expectations when it comes, in fact, to player popularity as well as her usage rate. And this is not going to be a video where I sit here and tell you and say, bro, trust me, I'm going to be showing you some data. Although most of this data is going to be just estimates, and we're not going to be saying like, oh, we somehow have the secret code frame from EroticWalruss' central database as to exactly how many people have Klee and how many people play Klee. But with a rough estimate, it's pretty clear and evident that for some reason people don't like using her. I wonder why. Alright, so with that said, let's just get right into the video. Subscribe, blah blah blah, do all that stuff. Do Genshin content every single day. Alright, so before we go any further, I want you guys to guess, right? Percentage wise, what percentage of the player base uses Klee in the Spiral Abyss? And you guys might be wondering, well, Walrus, why we talk about the Spiral Abyss? Because we're using Spiral Abyss as a benchmark. It's the only way we can consistently gauge character usage throughout different patches. Just take a wild guess, right? Pause the video, comment below, what percentage do you think Klee's usage rate is? Versus, and now this is the tricky part, how much money do you think her banners have made EroticWalruss as of today? Because believe it or not, Klee is a character that, by looking at the numbers, is close to rivaling Hu Tao. And it's not off by too far. In fact, when it comes to specific banner sale numbers, you would say that Klee and Hu Tao are probably just a couple apart from each other. And when it comes to sale records, Klee is in fact sitting within the top 10, which you guys likely didn't know either. I sure as hell didn't know, considering almost nobody talks about Klee. I made a video some time ago, probably last week, talking about Ito and why no one really talks about Ito. And when it comes to Ito, it's because I think Ito is such a well-rounded character and there has been nothing in the game that really shakes things up for him. There hasn't been anything bad designed to counter him, nor has there been anything new added to benefit him. So for the most part, Ito has just remained consistently basic. When it comes to Klee, it's a little different. For some reason, Klee's usage throughout a couple patches of the Abyss hasn't really been very high. The main reason is not because there's content that counters Klee or Klee is a bad character. What I've come to realize is that Klee as a unit can just be very frustrating to play. Her attacks and combo sequences, if you are trying to maximize her potential or really get a little more out of her, at times could feel very clunky and awkward to pilot. And this is to say that by some people's experience, it's almost as bad as doing the Claymore Dragon Strikes, which is a testament to exactly what level of play is demanded of the player, in fact, to make sure Klee can reach her full potential. Now, I can already hear you guys saying, well, Walrus, why does character need to reach their full potential? Well, you see, unlike a character's, let's say, Zhao, you can do your charge attack, plunge attack, whatever, but you can easily choose not to. Zhao is not going to be wildly different if you don't do your charge attack into your plunge attack. Right? These characters are designed with flexibility in their playstyle. However, the more I play Klee, the more I've come to realize that, hey, she is very immobile. To begin with, she has no additional movement ability. She herself doesn't really have any defensive capabilities either. For the most part, she is designed as an on-field carry, which is awkward because, well, you don't have mobility, you don't have any defense mechanisms, and you have a burst skill that disappears when you switch off. And on top of that, you're not really the tankiest of units either, and your elemental skill kind of locks you into this weird animation, which everything kind on, it just leads to the fact that you are forced to do some sort of animation cancel. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if her auto attacks didn't feel like she's chugging a 30-kilogram sandbag with one arm. It really does make you question the design choice of Klee. Let's be honest, if Klee were a character released in modern time Genshin, her scaling likely would be better. She probably would have something in her constellations that helps with defense, as well as overall would just do more damage. Currently in Klee's constellations, as you get higher, when you get to C4, which just seems so perfectly planned as this C4 bomb joke, that I refuse to believe HoYoverse didn't plan for this. In fact, the C4 of her kit does turn her into a bomb. If you switch off, you have this magnificent explosion, which then turns her from an on-field main DPS to a potential quick swapped burst support, which then you consider characters like Eula exist, which makes Klee feel really weird and awkward, because Eula gets all that at C0, whereas Klee gets that at C4. And arguably, Eula, when she is just on field doing her thing, isn't going to fall too far behind Klee if they're just both using their auto attacks, charge attacks, and their elemental skill, which now then begs the question, what really does Klee excel at? And let me tell you the answer to that: kind of nothing. So why do so many people have Klee? Well, here's my theory. Klee currently is like the premium lolly unit. Out of all the 5-star units, Klee and Chi-Chi are the only two 5-star short, chibi little lolly design characters. All other ones are 4 stars. So by process of elimination, she's just gonna be that popular because there's nothing else to choose from. If you want a 5-star character that's a limited character and who also it has a smaller stature, cute daughter vibes, you're gonna have to go with either Klee or Chi-Chi. And let's be honest, most of you already have Chi-Chi, so she ain't anything special. And at the end of the day, Klee is kind of like a trophy that's sitting in your cabinet. Something that you once thought, damn, I'm so proud to be an owner, and you would want to show it to everybody and worship it in a way. It's a beacon that represents your dedication for the game of Genshin. It used to probably even be cool to be a Klee main, but nowadays there's just so many more things you can do in the game that gets you brownie points from other people on the internet, as opposed to saying I'm a Klee main. And in a way, it's kind of become too popularized as well. It's just how people are. When things get too popular, people tend to want to go against the grain. So if you guys look at the charts here, Klee during her original banner all the way back when she first released sold 22,750,000 US dollars just in the China market on iOS. So she is a wildly successful character on her initial release. But as you fast forward, you see her rerun was only able to rack in 7 million. Now that's not to say it's absolutely terrible. I would love to have $7 million. However, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, it pales in comparison to some other reruns as well as original banners. So it's very indicative of what happened to Klee from her original release all the way up to her rerun and how desirable of a unit she has become. Currently, as I mentioned, she has one of the worst banner sales to usage rates out of all the limited characters, which for the most part is driven by the fact that she is just that difficult to use, and there hasn't been anything that came out which really benefits her, or a support that can help her succeed, or content which begs for the usage of someone like Klee. I do think if characters were to ever get buffed in this game, Klee definitely should be slated for one of those buffs. For example, make her burst stay on field when you switch characters would be a great start, and I think that could give her a role similar to what Xiangling has, which is a pyro applicator, which allows her to assist with dealing damage when not being on field, which would essentially move her role from an on-field DPS prior to C4 to a more support off-field pyro applicator slash DPS. And eventually, as you move up to that C4, she then becomes a burst support, which could probably have a cooldown on that explosion, so you can still swap between different characters to get that explosion multiple times through one burst usage. So let's say with a duration of 10 seconds, you can use it twice, meaning during one usage, you can use that C4 twice with a 5-second cooldown per explosion, which could be pretty substantial along with the damage that's already being dealt on field with this burst. All in all, I just wanted to tell you guys, Klee sits in a really awkward spot, and it's been a while since we've seen her, and I do think that that her banner sales is going to be absolutely horrendous this time, considering there has been nothing that helps her succeed in the game, as well as the fact that there are just much easier things in Genshin Impact to pull off a successful clear or big PP damage, that she really has fallen out of place and style. Still a cute character though, which I guess says a lot about Genshin units and their popularity. That said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Till then, stay safe, peace, bye.